Hey there everybody, Matt Carter here.
And Jessica Carter from CarterMatt.com.
This video is our reaction to The Circle, episode 1 that has just started off on Netflix. And this is a pretty incredible start to the new year. It is, I think, a really fun show. It is weird. It is very interactive. It is a Black Mirror fever dream gone terribly wrong.
It is, and it's a great way to quench some of our thirst for a little bit of Big Brother, because it's going to be a little while till we get some of that. This is a great way to get us through the hiatus before we have another one.
Yeah, and I mean, even if you don't watch Big Brother and you just like interesting social experiments, I think it's going to be fun throughout this little run to be able to dive into certain people and understand who they are and understand how they communicate. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a huge fan of the binge watching model for some things, because I kind of like getting, an episode a week of stuff sometimes, but we're going to do our best to give you as much good stuff on The Circle as quickly as possible. Maybe for now we'll do a couple videos a day. We'll do one video for each episode. But anyway, before we do anything else, if you like this video, give us a like, subscribe to Carter Matt on YouTube, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any other updates. All right, so I think let's just start kind of big picture here. And what do you like about The Circle so much?
I really like that this is such a social game, that it has taken the part of Big Brother that I like the most, which is the social game and forming of alliances and the lying and scheming and building this social game of Jenga that can fall on you at any point. But the other thing that I really love about this show is the cast. This cast, whoever out there casted this show, this is great. This is so far, now I'm going to say this and it's all going to go to crap.
Well, that's what happens.
But so far, this is one of the best casts that I've seen. There's a lot of people that I really like. There's some people that I know I'm not going to like. It's just, and it's so diverse. And I really love that they've done that with this show. We never get to see this.
And I think it's ultimately just, it's so fun because it's just really going to be about what everyone chooses to do. There's no like outside interference. It doesn't seem, at least. It feels like it's all based on the choices you make individually and how that defines you. But without further ado, I mean, let's get into the players, because these are the people who fundamentally we're going to be watching for. And I'm going to go in order of them being introduced. So Chris was first.
Yeah, and Chris has got he just has a really nice charisma about him.
Yeah, I like Chris a lot. I mean, granted, he's from my hometown, Dallas. Got to represent here. But no, I mean, I don't always like people who are from Dallas on reality TV. Some of them are really awful. But no, he's nice. He seems friendly. He seems like the sort of person who lights up a room. I feel like he's going to do well because he comes across as fairly authentic. It seems like he kind of knows who he is, which I think is important, because I think you need to be consistent, and you can't constantly be like, oh, I'm going to say this because people think that. Oh, I'm going to say this because people want me to say that. I think you got to have kind of consistent sort of through line if you want to do reasonably well on a show like this.
Yeah, and I think his charisma and sort of just that feel that he's a bit of an entertainer, sort of that feel that he can light up a room, that people will feel comfortable around him. That is a really strong social game. It can be part of a really strong social game. I feel like Chris is dangerous.
Chris is dangerous. Joey is not dangerous in my mind. Joey is just kind of, I don't know what's going on with this guy.
Joey has watched too much Jersey Shore, and I say that as someone who has watched too much Jersey Shore. We have a decoration on our tree of the situation. That's how much Jersey Shore I've watched, and I enjoy Pauly D as much as Joey does. But I'm not going to sit on here and be like, yeah, buddy, yeah, buddy, yeah, buddy, like over and over again.
Yeah.
I was hoping that Joey was going to be somebody who just wasn't bringing in another character that I've already seen on another show for many seasons. I'm hoping going forward he's going to be his own guy.
I was okay at first with him saying, yeah, buddy. But the problem is, he didn't put it in a hashtag, and he's trying to make it into a thing. Joey, it's already a thing. You missed the boat by, like, I don't know, 10 years? Like, it's just not going to work out for you, man. I'm sorry. And also, the most ridiculous moment of this entire episode comes courtesy of Joey. He's having his private conversation with Alana, and the way, of course, he approaches this is ridiculous in itself, because, of course, this is who Joey is going to message in private. But
of course.
He takes his shirt off before talking to her. She can't see you. That is the point of the show. She doesn't know. You could have, I mean, you could be someone who is sitting over there, like putting an extra large pizza into your mouth all at once, and she would have no idea. So just stop it, Joey.
Maybe it's a confidence thing. Maybe he's got to take it off before he's able to get into the DMs. He has admitted that he has slid into people's DMs and sent certain pictures of himself in the DMs. So the idea that he's going to take his shirt off, he knows he's on TV. I get it. She can't see you, but we all can. So I think that's kind of maybe where he's going with it.
This is Joey's audition to slide into other people's DMs after the show.
Absolutely.
Let's put it exactly what it is here. All right, well, we'll talk a little bit about Alana now. I mean, Alana is the first person who leaves at the end of episode 1, but, you know, when we first get to know her, I mean, she really kind of establishes herself as, okay, you know, she's a model. She seems like she's not going to try to lead with all of her modeling pictures right away. She doesn't want to be too intimidating.
I was just lukewarm on her. She just feels a lot like a lot of sort of Instagram type models that I see on the daily, that there wasn't anything that was sort of that special spark that just took her away from the pack. So when she was eliminated at the end of the episode, it wasn't that surprising because everyone else, even Joey with his yeah buddy, okay, at least there's something there that is like, okay, I know that if I hear yeah buddy, we're talking about Joey. I know if we're talking about Chris that there's going to be this amazing charisma that's going to sweep over everybody. Then you talk about Alana and it's like, okay, yeah, she's pretty. Yeah, she's a model. Yeah, there's like 1,000 other people out there that are in that exact same boat. What else do you have that you can make that connection with people? And it already felt like she kind of made a bit of a bad impression when she sent out that group chat calling everyone the skinny pretty girls. You don't know who you're talking to. You're taking it for face value that the pictures that you're seeing is who you're seeing. It seems like she's someone who is very Instagram savvy and very social media savvy, so she should be catfish savvy.
There's just a couple of things about Alana that sort of made this elimination fairly predictable by the time it happened. I mean, the first thing, and this is little, but I know people called it out within the circle, was the taco thing, where she's talking about always eating tacos, and that is just like such a kitschy thing that like I know a lot of model personalities put in like their bios or stuff like that, and it's just sort of like, oh, you know, look how quirky and relatable I am, tacos, and it's just like.
Yeah, I agree. It's, and it feels almost Joey calling that out and being like, okay, you're an Instagram model or you're a model and you're eating tacos every day. I don't believe it, because if you're eating tacos every day, you may not look exactly like that unless maybe you're working out every day. And if that's the case, you know, that's great too. But I eat like that. I don't eat tacos every day.
I wish I had tacos every day.
But I mean, I eat more like what she's talking about, and I certainly don't look anywhere near as good as she does. So I just feel that if you're gonna put something like that out there, you just need to feel genuine. It is all you're gonna see. And in this group of people, having a little bit of something that tells somebody actually something about yourself is what's going to get you through this game.
And she didn't really do that. I mean, yeah, the skinny pretty girls group chat thing, it felt a lot like she had just not really that she had not really spoken with the, the plebs out there of the world, that she had been out on her, like, own elevated plane, and just thought that this would be something that would, I think she thought it would be something that sort of unified anyone. And if she had just taken the word skinny out of there, I think it probably would have been okay, but it's just, even people who are in really good shape, they don't always identify themselves as skinny.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fit girls, just pretty girls. Anything other than skinny girls. That was a really weird word to use, and I understand why it rubs some people the wrong way.
Let's get now, though, to my guy, and he is officially my guy, Seaburn, who also, he's not even his own guy because he's playing the game as his girlfriend, Rebecca, but I love everything about this man as a reality TV personality. I love his smile. I love his, interest in playing the game hard. I love that, anytime anything even remotely exciting happened, his reaction was always like, oh, I was like, I want that guy around us. So, we bring him eggs or pancakes in the morning. He's just like, yeah.
And I loved how every time something was starting to kick off, he would start to kind of cackle, Here we go. Yeah, no, his energy is off the charts. Yeah. I also really love him.
The real MVP here, by the way, is the real Rebecca, who is, putting up with all of this nonsense for the remainder of this season, and she's going to have to, because, somebody's going to go up to the real Rebecca, and they're going to assume that, she's exactly like whatever Seaburn presents her to be.
For sure.
I was really worried at one point that they were going to get rid of him this episode, and this entire show would be not anywhere near as good.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried as well when they were talking about her picture and that maybe they felt that she wasn't that genuine. I was a little bit worried at the beginning as well.
I'll be honest, I don't actually know if this strategy is a good strategy because, yeah, you do know a lot about, you do know a lot about your girlfriend, obviously, and you could be able to pretend to be her.
Yep.
But I think the difference between what Seaburn is doing and what Karen is doing as Mercedes, and we'll talk about her in a little while, is, Seaburn actually knows who he's impersonating. And I think that could come into some difficult situations where if you start to get too much into your head of am I going to say something as Rebecca that's going to upset the real Rebecca, I feel like that could actually start to interfere with your game a little bit.
It might. It depends really on their relationship, and we don't know their relationship that well. I mean, she's obviously given him license to do whatever he needs to do to come home with the money. And so to me, that tells me that their relationship is pretty secure. So I think he can probably do or say pretty much anything he needs to and not have to worry about what the real Rebecca is going to say because, yeah, I feel like they're secure.
Next up, we have Shubham, and Shubham reminds me, he's basically the closest to me, I feel like, in this game.
He is the closest to me as well. As soon as he came on, he was like, I don't really have any social media. I think it's a big lie. I was like, yes. Yeah.
Okay, see, I don't agree with that part of it. I think there's
no,
fun
but
stuff,
some of what he's saying is true.
There is a part of it.
There, you go on Instagram and it is models. I'm at the gym. Look at this amazing food I'm eating.
Yeah.
Look at my adorable baby. It's all the perfect things in life.
Yeah.
And yes, there are some of those moments that are genuine, but nobody's going on there and sharing, look how messy my room is. Look at what disasters happened to my car. It is just sort of this perfect picture of a life that doesn't really exist in real life.
Yeah.
But for me, because I'm someone who's not really engaged on social media, I have no Facebook. We have a really tiny Instagram. I've got my Twitter, but I'm not really on it like a ton. It was really refreshing for them to bring in somebody who kind of feels like me.
I think he's going to be fun for the 2 or 3 episodes that he's on before he gets eliminated because he just... I think the problem with Shubham, as much as I love him, and I would be probably in the same position, is people like us are not used to being popular, so I don't think we know exactly what to do to be popular with other people, and I think he's going to make some good friends, and I think he'll have some allies, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to sort of counterbalance the fact that he'll have other people who are like, I just don't get this guy.
Yeah, because there was a couple people that saw him and thought that he was a fake. And
Yeah.
I understand that in some ways because of what I just said
Yeah.
about the fact that Instagram and everybody's trying to, even Facebook, is trying to put on this perfect life and perfect everything, that then they would see what looks like just a very genuine picture. And then you see everyone else's pictures where it's like, oh, Joey, I'm at the gym, and Chris is in his leather jacket, and Alana's, being a model. And then here he is just being normal guy, normal picture, that they'd be like, okay, what is going on here? Is this guy really him? Is this a plant? Is this like, what is this? And if other people in the circle can't figure you out, that is probably gonna have him sent home kind of early.
Yeah, I think he's probably going to be in trouble. But I mean, it does seem like he's got some friends that he's sort of forming already. I mean, it seems as though he and Rebecca had a nice conversation earlier.
Yeah.
So I Shuby, as he has also been called by Antonio.
I love that.
I think he's got an okay chance. I'm just not super optimistic. But to be honest, I'm not that optimistic about Samantha, aka Sammy, either. Like, I know we're at odds about this. I can already see it in your face.
I like her. I can't really put my finger on it. Maybe it's that she also feels kind of genuine, and I'm just, drawn to the people who are a bit more genuine. That's why I like Shuby, and that's why I like Sammy, and why I like Antonio. There's just people that I'm more drawn to.
I just think she rubs me the wrong way a little bit. I think a part of it is just that, like, she's very, like, party heavy, and she's talked a lot about that, and I just feel like if I was ever, like, stuck in a room with her, I would have zero to talk with her about, and I think that would be a challenge for me on a show like this. But I think a lot of it is about, how you can manipulate other personality types. If I was playing the circle, and not just because, like, she ends up being one of the influencers voted at the end, she would be the person I would be the most afraid of, because she seems pretty self-assured,
Yep.
she seems pretty confident in who she is,
Yep.
and I don't think that she's going to be influenced very easily.
I agree. I think Sammy is going to be very dangerous in this game as well, especially since she was one of the influencers. That doesn't put her in a great spot on top of all the things that you just said about her,
Yeah.
which are a lot of the reasons I like
know.
her too. And even her just with the whole skinny girls group, she was one of the people to be like, really? You don't know who's behind these pictures. Even just the word skinny, like why would you do this? And it just quickly rubbed her the wrong way, because
Yeah.
it also rubbed me the wrong way. I was like, yeah, Sammy, you tell it.
I
You
do
tell it like it is. However, she is going to be dangerous. And if I was in this circle and I was playing this game and I immediately felt a connection to someone like that was doing something like that, I would probably put her up as a problem.
Yeah, I think she's a problem. I do appreciate her calling out the skinny name for the little women's group chat, but I will say this though, I think there's a risk that she might be a little bit combustible, because I think you kind of got to know, when to hold back in certain situations. And she didn't vocalize her being upset to the other players in this situation, but she definitely had the biggest reaction, which can be good, and it can also be bad depending on the circumstance.
But the fact that she had it by herself, she could have easily been like, computer, send this message. Skinny girls, WTF, send.
Yeah.
And it could have gone sideways, but it didn't. She held it together. I like my girl Sammy. I feel like she could go far.
And, Antonio is the next person, and I dig Antonio. I think, I was about to say basketball is my world, but it's really not. I just watch Toronto Raptors games.
You do
but
love basketball.
I love basketball. I feel like he is somebody who I would get along with on some level, even though I'm about 100 times nerdier than he is. But he seems very outgoing. He seems pretty likable. Mm-hmm. He seems like he has a reasonably good understanding that there's actual strategy that needs to be played on this show.
And he also just feels genuine. And like I said, I'm really drawn to the people in this show that just feel genuine, that they are who they are.
Yeah. And I think faking something is a fine strategy if you can pull it off.
Absolutely.
But I just think that he doesn't really...
Like Seaburn.
Yeah,
like he's pulling that off to some degree.
Yeah, I don't know how long it's gonna last, but I think I'm just so biased because I love him so much already. But
he's so good.
Yeah, I think Antonio he's someone to watch, but it's also like, okay, he's really putting forward that he is athletic. Mm-hmm. He seems like he's pretty likable. He's already been voted as popular. I think He's gonna have a target.
That was the best part, watching him have that meltdown in his apartment to be like, please let me be in the middle or let me be at the bottom. Don't let me be popular. And him watching the numbers come up and his face not coming up and that meltdown, that was so entertaining.
It was funny. And I think
it endeared him, to me even more.
I think it made him turn out you are playing the game because you understand what you need to do to get by. And that's good because I think he's not going to let this title go to his head. And I think he even talked about this, letting Sammy basically take the fall for everything and him just sort of like back himself up out of this situation. Good on you, Antonio, for playing.
And it was a really smart move at the end that he said, that he will be the one to announce who's leaving under the condition that they have each other's back and loyalty. It was so smart to grab that opportunity while they were alone.
Yeah, and especially because if she goes back on it, I'm presuming that Antonio can then go to other people and be like, oh, by the way, we had this deal and she went back on it, so don't trust her.
It almost feels like when in Big Brother, when everybody comes into the house, it's like first group in the house. Oh, we're all an alliance. Yeah. It was that sort of feeling when he was just like, okay, we're the first two, so let's take this to the end.
Yeah.
And I think he got lucky with someone like Sammy because she does feel like she will probably be loyal.
Yeah. Well, finally we have Karen, otherwise known as Mercedes, and this is the thing with Karen. I don't actually think she needed to do this at all because I think Karen herself is incredibly interesting and I think she would be probably somebody who everyone wouldn't identify with right away.
But I think everyone would have loved her to be just herself.
Yeah, I was really fascinated just by who she is as a person. And I do think it benefits her that she doesn't know this persona that she's putting on with people. I even like that she spelled the name in some sort of really weird way.
Yeah, with a Z.
Yeah, because that makes it feel like that makes it feel like it's actually somebody's real name.
Yeah.
If they put that much time and thought into it. So I think it's an interesting move for her to do. I don't know if she needs to do it, but she is still there. I think she's fairly funny. I think her and Antonio having a flirting session when both of them are in relationships outside the game was just so ridiculous.
Oh, it was really ridiculous, and I love that she was able to be like, yeah, I can call out all these moves that he's gonna do, sort of thing. And no, I really like her. I think she's also really charismatic, and I agree. I don't think she did need to go in there and be anybody else, and I think she would have gone really far. I'm more worried, actually, with her being Mercedes, because people were saying, oh, her photo looks like it's got a filter on it, and we don't know if we really buy into it. If she had just been herself, she may have had a better shot.
And so we got to know all the people, and then we got to see kind of the basic function of the show, where you see people all going off in their little groups, we talked about with Joey and Alana, and we also saw a lot of just questions that were being asked to various players, and within those questions, they could see who voted yes or who voted no, and some of them were very, very, I don't know why do you pee in the shower is something you need to bring up in the very first episode.
No, I don't get it.
But,
well, I guess they wanted to make everybody uncomfortable.
Yeah.
They wanted to see if people would admit to doing something that's kind of like that, because those are the types of things that people would judge you for.
Yeah, I think that's probably the point. I think they wanted to set these people up right away in situations where they would be really, really judged for something that they said or did.
I was actually surprised when that question came up that everybody just didn't say no.
Yeah, I feel
whether they did or not, I was surprised that wasn't just a no across the board, and that at that point people would be like, I think so-and-so is lying, or I think so-and-so is lying.
Yeah, I'm surprised that happened that way, but I'm glad that it didn't. I'm glad that there was actual, people who voted on both sides. There may have been a lot of questions we didn't actually see that might have been all yes or all no or whatever else, but we got questions where there were some divided opinions.
Yep.
I don't think we necessarily learned that much from any of them, if I'm being super honest.
No, but it did push people into judging other people about stuff, because Sammy was the only person that said yes to that question. All of a sudden people were like, oh, I don't know. But for some reason, nobody seemed to be judging any of the guys. But oh,
Yeah.
Sammy, that's not okay. It's just like, really? Why is it not okay for her?
Yeah.
But it's okay for all you guys to be in the shower. Like, come on.
Yeah, we needed some sort of voice of reason in there with that, but
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, it was. I think they were useful for like maybe a couple little things, but the most interesting strategy comes at the end of the episode where they all get to rank everybody out.
Yep.
1 to 2 are the most popular. They are the influencers, and they have the chance to determine ultimately the fate of someone else. But Shuby is in 8th place. How can you do Shuby dirty like this? I understand that he's not the most easy to relate to with some of you people. He does not take his shirt off anytime he talks to a woman, so...
I wasn't surprised to see him in 8th place, and in some ways I think he probably wasn't surprised to see himself in 8th place. He does know that sort of social media games are not really his thing, so he does come into this game with a bit of a disadvantage. Because you do have to have those online social skills of sliding into people's DMs. That is a thing that you have to be comfortable with in this game, because if you're not going to make those alliances.
I think it was a good little pity move on his part to basically be like at the end, well, I hope you guys have a good rest of your time.
That was so
because
smart.
It was just, everybody's going to feel bad for him now.
They're just like, oh, and even I was like, oh.
Shuby, you're course correcting well, Shuby. You just got to hang it tough a little while because, yeah, those people who were at the top are going to be ultimately targets now to some degree, or at least that's how I feel it would be. But, you know, we see that Antonio and Sammy, they are voted the influencers, and it feels like they have an interesting decision to make because each of one of them basically decides, okay, we want to save these people. Antonio makes it clear he doesn't want to lose a guy this early on.
Yeah.
Little does he know that Seaburn is also a guy. So there's a little bit of he's got some things to think about here. But the decision to get rid of Alana was in 3rd place. That kind of surprised me, honestly, especially because of the Skinny Pretty Girls chat name. I felt like these people were going to be like, you know what? I understand that Joey probably gave her number 1 in every single thing imaginable.
Probably.
But, like, I didn't think she'd be number 3.
Oh, no, I did not think she was going to be number 3. I thought she was going to go home, but I thought she was going to be middle of the pack, like a 5 or a 6 or a 4 even. I didn't expect her to be 3 with everything that was going on. I was starting to wonder if it was a bit of strategy, that maybe people were thinking, okay, whoever's the most popular, almost like whoever wins HOH first in Big Brother, they're usually a target and they're usually a problem for at least the first couple of weeks until, things start to go sideways in other ways. And you don't want to be the first influencers. That's why Antonio was having this meltdown, being like, oh, please, please, please let me be the middle of the pack. I totally get that. So maybe there was some strategy there, and I would have done that as well. If there was somebody that I thought was a problem, like for me, the people I actually probably would have picked to be influencer or whatever to try to bump them up if there was a way to do that would have been a Samantha or a Chris or people that have some charisma that I'm worried about.
Yeah, I think that's
so
fair.
I kind of wonder if there was some people that felt Alana was maybe going to be a problem down the road because she's an Instagram model or a model and all that sort of thing, that she was going to be able to make alliances with some of the guys maybe, and that she would be a problem.
I think this is what's going to be fun about this, is exploring like the early stages of it, because these people don't know how the game is played. I do not believe that Joey went and watched international versions of The Circle.
No, he obviously voted for her because he likes her, but I mean, for her being in 3rd place, it felt like this was some sort of a strategic move to make her popular and make her a target and get her out. And it kind of worked.
Well, here's the thing to me, and I mean, this may be me. I would have actually, I don't think Alana is a threat. And the reason I wouldn't think Alana is a threat, even though she did rub me the wrong way with a couple of things, is because she did rub people the wrong way. So I would kind of think, okay, if I am an influencer, I know someone else is going to get Alana out later because they're going to be annoyed by her for doing something or for being detached or whatever else.
I would be a bit worried if I was someone like a Samantha, who was an influencer, about an Alana, because she started that chat with a group name like the Skinny Girls. I'd be worried that because this is a game that is based on social climbing and influence and just pictures, and it seems like Alana, just from her picture, is somebody who's on Instagram pretty frequently, at least that's what I would think by that picture, that I would be worried specifically with that skinny girls thing, and I'm not saying she's a mean girl or anything like that, but that she would be somebody who could rally the rest of the girls because she started the chat. She started it with a name like Skinny Girls, and then the next person that jumped in did say something like, oh yeah, girl power, something like that then I'd be like, okay, this girl may be a problem, because it already feels like she's sort of the head of the girls.
Well, I think...
Or self-appointed head of the girls.
I think it all depends on sort of, because you have to have interactions with your partner, right? And, like, if Sammy was, like, really gung-ho with, like, okay, we need to get rid of Alana, that's great. Get rid of Alana. It's your decision. No blood on my hands.
Yeah, and
I don't have to worry.
It might have been as simple as that. That maybe she was just like, you know what, this rubbed me the wrong way, and I don't want to play the game with somebody like that, so just get her out.
Like, if it was me, I would probably go after somebody, because Sammy was in power, so if I was in Antonio's position, I would have probably wanted Chris out. And that's not because I don't like Chris, because I like him a lot, but I would just think, okay, you know what? Alana's going to be around to rub people the wrong way moving forward. She can be somebody else's problem, and I'll just get rid of Chris now, because I don't know if I'm going to have another chance to get rid of Chris.
And I think the problem is Antonio was like, I don't want to get rid of the guy at this point.
Then that's where he was coming from.
Yeah, so they were sort of out of luck on that. But yeah, Chris should have been on the target for Antonio and everybody, because he is really charismatic. And I expect him to be around for a little while. Yeah,
and I mean, as somebody who's been on a reality show and has felt like that fear of going home first, I think the best strategy is just make sure you're not that one person and do whatever anyone else says. The one last thing to talk about here, though, is that Alana has an opportunity now to go and see somebody before she leaves. Is it 95% chance that this is Joey?
I actually thought 95% chance this is going to be Antonio, because he's the person who delivered the message. Yeah. So if I was her, I would want to know why and what was going on, and just sort of, because the idea is you're blocked and then you have no information. You know, why did you get kicked out? Joey's not going to know that. I would pick the person who ended up actually telling me that I was blocked.
Yeah.
Why was I blocked? What was it about me? You know, what could I have done differently? Just whatever it was. That's who I think she's going to go see.
I think that's possible. I think it's either Joey or Antonio. I don't know how it's anybody else. I think it probably depends on what part of the game you're in, because...
Well, yeah, because if it was later in the game and her and Joey had been talking for a really long time and built a big relationship, then I would say, maybe Joey. But we only saw, like, one conversation, and she was just like, all right.
Yeah.
It seems like a guy who's slid into my DMs a million times. Like, what's special about him kind of thing. That's why I think she's going to go see Antonio.
Well, the thing is, we'll all find out very, very shortly, because episode 2 is there for us to watch. We will watch it. We will have a video talking all about it. But I hope you guys enjoyed the premiere as much as we did. It was really a lot of fun.
So good.
So let us know in the comments what you thought about the premiere, who you're rooting for, and also how would you play the circle if you were on it. Let us know, and if you like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and you can support us further by checking the link in the description to the Carter Matt store, and we'll see you here next time